Hi, boys and girls. It's Bean and Duke, and it's Unit 24, and we are on day 3, and it's sort day. We're going to go over the chart, and we're going to sort the cards. I am going to show you the chart part first so that you can see it. Beware, because you know who's going to photobomb. Yeah. I don't see the bone anywhere. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed so he doesn't find it, because that's that thing that goes kaplunk, kaplunk. Yeah, we're talking about you. Now, your buddy over here, Duke, said he's being good boy. I know. Well, you need to come here so I can see you. Alright, what's he say? Mama? There you go. Alright, you're my good boy. Are you going to be my good boy, or are you going to photobomb the whole time? I'm going to photobomb. See, you got to tell them what photobomb means. That means where you see my tail, you see my head, you see my nose. Yeah. See, look what he does. Can you nudge me again? Usually when he wants something, he'll nudge it with his nose. See? Yep, a little bit. All right, y'all be good. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. First, I'm going to show you what the sort sheet will look like, and I'll also show you the list where you can get it from. So I'm going to come up closer to the camera, okay, Emily? All right. So she's going to make sure I don't come up so close that you can't see. With the list, when you do the sort with them, you're going to use the tricky words that are on the list, and you're going to use list A. And like I said, some parents are taking both of these and they're putting them on one piece of paper and working it where the child can do it. It's up to you. Now, as far as the sort paper, it looks like this, but you do not have it in your packet. What you have to do instead is to make your own sort paper like I've done here. And at the end of the video, I'll come back up to Emily and we'll do a few of these together so you'll understand how to do the sort paper. But I wanted you to know that in case your child's going, I don't have that. No, they don't. You'll have to make it. And then the other thing that I want you to know about too is that if you need for them to do the sort, if you happen to got the Letterland apps, there is, you can do Unit 24, you can do the sort on that. And I also had another parent said that they made their own cards like these, and they sorted them. So it's up to you which way that you would like to do. All right, before we start the sort, we need to go over our chart so that we know the words and we understand where they go. Now remember, this week we're talking about Mr. O saying O all by himself. He doesn't have Magic E to help him out. He doesn't have another vowel man beside of him looking for robots. We're also talking about Mr. I saying I all by himself. He doesn't have Magic E helping him say I, and he doesn't have another vowel beside of him helping him say I. Let's go over O. Now when they do these, they want us to think about word families. And so let's do the first word family, and this is old, old. And in old, we also have old, hold. And remember, when we're sorting, emphasize to your child and you boys and girls that this O doesn't say ah, it says O. And here's another one, most, most. And then we have both, both, roll, roll. They all, I think somebody's photobombing with his face and his ears. There he goes. And Emily's scooting him by. And what you'll know is all these O's by themselves are not Oscar Orange ah. They're saying O, like old and hold and most and both and roll. Now, Mr. I, he's kind and he's mild. That helps you with two word families. So let's do the kind. Kind, kind, and the word is find. And remember, Mr. I is mild, 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 and in the word family is child, child. They also put this one where Mr. I is saying I and climb, climb. Now we do have 3 tricky words this week. We have a compound word, himself. Remember, 2 words put together to make 1 word. We have look. And remember that oo's not going, it's going not ah. That's Well, it's tricky. And we have what, in, when, with that long I sound. Like find. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to mix up the words and we're going to sort them back together. So, I'm going to kind of do a random. So, they're mixed up. Now, we're going to read the words. You're going to tell whoever's in front of you where they go. And I'm going to place it there. We're going to double check. Okay? First word. Read this word. You're right. It's old. Is it Mr. O saying O all by himself? Or is it Mr. I saying I all by himself? Or is it a tricky word? You're right. It's Mr. O saying it all by himself. All right, let's do our next word. Read this word for me. You're right. It's himself. Now, is it Mr. O saying O all by himself? Mr. I saying I all by himself? He's not saying I all by himself. It's a tricky word. And it's also a compound word. Good job. Read this word for me. You're right. It's kind. Is it Mr. O all by himself saying O? Mr. I all by himself saying I? Or a tricky word? It's the I saying I all by itself. Great job. All right, let's read our next one. What's this word? You're right. It's hold. It's got that O. Uh-oh. So is it Mr. O all by itself? You're right. And it's also in that rhyming family of old and hold. Or word family, I should say. All right, let's do our next word. What's this word? Climb. Is that an O first for Mr. O all by itself? It's not an O. What's the vowel in there? It's an I. It's saying that I sound of climb all by itself. So it goes with Mr. I. So far we have old and hold in O, and kind and climb in I, and himself in the tricky words. All right. Look at this word. What's this word? Good job. That word is both. Now we see the vowel. Is it Mr. O or Mr. I in there? You're right, Mr. O. And is Mr. O saying O? Both? Sure is. So we're going to put it here with Mr. O to go join old and hold. Let's look at this next word. What's this word? Look. Well, I could go look. I could say it's going to say the O sound because Mr. O's beside Mr. O and go look. Oak. But it's not. It's got look. And it doesn't match Mr. O. Doesn't match Mr. I. It's a tricky word. So himself and look are together as a tricky word. All right, let's look at this next word. What's this word? You're right. It's most. What vowel is in there? It is O. And is O saying its name O and not trying to trick us? Most. It sure is. So we're going to put it right here with Mr. O. So we have old, hold, both, and most making that long O sound all by itself. Has no other friends with them, or vowel friends, let's put it that way. What's this word? You're right. It's find. What vowel is in there? It is an I. Now, is it tricking us? I. Yep, it's saying I. So it goes with Mr. I. And then that way we've got the word family of eind, with Mr. I being kind, and then find, and then we added climb. All right, here's our next word. What's this word? You're right, mild. What vowel is in mild? You're right, it's got an I. Now, is it saying that long I sound? Yes, it is. So it doesn't go under Mr. O. It's going to go over here with Mr. I. And we also know that Mr. I is mild. So we have mild, kind, fine, and climb. You guys are doing a great job reading these words. All right, what's this word? You're right, it's wind. Now this one that goes, well, "eind," does it? This I is not following the rule about Mr. I by himself saying that I name. So we're going to have to put it where? Tricky words. Good job. All right, let's do our next word. What's this word? You're right. Roll. Is this Mr. O or Mr. I by itself? Mr. O by itself. And Mr. O saying O and roll. So we're going to put it right here. So now Mr. O has with him, all by himself, saying the O sound, old and hold, both, most, and roll. Excellent job. All right, last word. Read this word for me. You're right, that's child. Excellent job. Now, which vowel do we have? You're right, we've got that I. Ch-I. So we're going to put it over here, and it's in the word, same word family as mild, in the ild family. So we have mild, child, kind, fine, climb, that have Mr. I saying I all by himself. We have completed the sort. What I want to do is show you how to do it on the paper that you've made for your child. And like I said, I've had some parents do it a little bit different. They write the words for them on a separate piece of paper instead of using a list. I have some parents using a list. I have some parents that are using the app to do the sort with. And I have some parents that are putting the words on cards and letting them sort it that way. It's your choice how you want to do it. All right, Emily, I'm coming up close to you, so make sure that I'm not too close where they can't see the camera. All right. Now, I'm going to have to take the pen off. As you can see with my chart, I have O here by itself. My I kind of looks a little funky, so I'll fix it. And then my question mark. Those are my tricky words. And if I look right here when I'm on the tricky words, this is where your child is going to be going. Putting himself, look, and wind. Now, when I go to list A, and that's the list words I want to use because it's the same words that are up there, I'm going to go word for word and put them. I'm going to do 3 of these with you so your child can do the rest on their own. The first word I want to do is kind. I'm looking for the vowel, and I see the I, which is right here, and it says that I, long I sound, so I'm going to put kind here. Then I'll look for the next word, old. It has the vowel of the O, so I'm going to put it here that's saying that O sound. Be careful when you're doing this with your child because they pretty much will know that if it has that vowel to stick it here, but they also have to be sure they can read it. So you do need to go back and make sure they're still able to read these words because they might go ka-end, and that's not what the rule this week. It's ka-eind. All right, last word I'm going to do with you and your child, and it is the word child. So I'm going to put it under the I because it has the I sound, and I'm going to put it right here. Go ahead and have your child to complete the rest of the words that are on list A and put them in the sort page. It's always good when they're done to make sure they can read the words to you back after it's completed. You guys did a great job, and congratulations, Bean. I think he only photobombed once this time. So we are now ending Unit 24, Day 3, Sort Day. And I will see you tomorrow for Story Day.